National Assembly before it becomes fully democratic.
Yeah. I mean,
at that time, there's lots of fighting shows.
That really is violent.
Yeah, but when the Taiwan National Assembly has become fully democratic, actually that dies down. There has been very few of such kind of episodes.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting point, actually.
Yes,
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, that's true, actually. But in terms of the actual rules of procedure, I mean, if they did, for example, try to change the rules of procedure, and the Democratic Party don't oppose it, or they even, vote for it, and perhaps if there's a penalty, for example, the LSD legislators being thrown out not just for one day, but having been thrown out for 10 days or something. I mean, that potentially is quite a dangerous thing to happen, I think, for people who have got constituents and so on.
Exercise are kind of very bad restraint on freedom of speech because some legislator, more Howard this one or the Dosa one, would be very mindful of their speech. Then they would not use any word they like. Right? They will have to be very careful to put down their script so that they won't so-called antagonize the chairman, who has the power to throw him into maybe 1 month of a suspension.
But I mean, in reality, do you think they have the guts to sign change of procedure?
Yes, I very much doubt so.
It looks like it's on the cards. There's going to be something, I think.
But they have to, for example, if long hair Raymond and Albert's been kicked out for 10 days, then they lose their power to vote for 10 days, and there is a political crisis, isn't it? Because they have been ripped off their right to vote.
You're absolutely right.
Then they can go for judicial review.
Yeah. And also I think I heard about Raymond said on the radio about 5 to 6 years ago in 2003. He said all the Democratic parties should leave the legislature and have their own legislature outside the legislative council.
In trying to oppose the Article 23.
Yeah. Because and if they really kick them out for 10 days and change the procedure, we still have extra meeting outside the legislative council. Then I think the power and it will affect people to think more about it.
Sure. I mean, going back to the point about LSD's, how it will affect LSD's votes and the way, in terms of popularity and whether it will affect it at all. I mean, what do you think about that? Is that something? I mean, I'm a great believer that LSD within the organisation there should be some debate about it, whether it is the right strategy to take, whether they need to slightly change the image or the way it's done. I think it's a mistake for people who support LSD to blindly support the tactics. By and large, I do, but I would say that it's good to have some discussion about it. I know that there's bound to be some people who voted for LSD who might be
getting away,
who might not like what they did, and so on, but obviously. Raymond is fully aware of that, but I think he probably realises that ultimately you've got to be willing to make
some political price.
And make some noise and so on, and be willing to stand up. I think, and he's calculated all that. I think.
In one sense, Raymond is remarking that he's being true to his election promise, and also. Trying to show the electorate he's not the other guy, the other famous electrical guy,
Albert
Chang, because Albert Chang, after he was elected into the electrical, he become extraordinarily docile. So it actually he just like a tiger who has lost all his teeth.
He was in today's in the South China Morning Post. He's got a weekly column, and he was criticising the League of Social Democrats actually for that for what they were doing actually.
For God's sake.
But he's But I mean, and the editorial of the South China has been condemning LSD for it as well, actually.
Yeah, surely.
But you, in some ways, you can see why they have to.
Because the South China movement has been owned by pro-China people already.
I think all the media.
All the major media.
Except
Apple.
Apple Daily. And sometimes Oriental Daily. But up to now, their steer has been changed.
Because in some ways, the Oriental Daily, they're kind of their readers are working class people, aren't they? And they, in some ways, they like the fight and so on, the idea of working class fighting and stuff. But even though perhaps that paper's not particularly pro-democratic, but it's kind of more pro-working class people, isn't it?
Pro-working class, and they help us a lot. They help LSD a lot during our election.
They are quite anti-Zhang.
Anti-Donald Trump. They're anti-Donald Trump, but they don't like the Democratic Party, they don't like DAP, they don't like anybody. But during the election, Albert and Raymond they have columns of articles over there, and they support us a lot. Because the working class people, especially the old people, they have a habit to buy a newspaper every day. But for those old people, they cannot reach us. You know, for example, the old people would not listen to my radio because they don't know how to use the internet. But I think the media has been controlled, and the self-censorship is what I hate. You know, self-censorship it means that you don't have to be that sort of no guts, but but they scare themselves before the people, before the authority do anything to them.
And I was just another point I was going to make about that thing is to do with the Democratic Party and the Civic Party. Are they acting because they don't like LSD stealing the limelight?
This is surely one of the
something
factors,
like that.
I should say, but
deep in their heart.
But also they have to be very mindful of their electorate, and the electorate certainly the major proportion of the so-called Democrats in Hong Kong are very docile, and they don't like this very so-called ungentlemanly behavior. So. But also, they also want to be showing that they are with the majority and with the mainline opinion. So now the mainline opinion is about so-called gentlemanship. So they are going to toe that line. Without balancing any point. There's only one or two pan-democratic electoral member who has been supportive of the LSD, just like Cynthia Ho.
Probably only Cynthia Ho.
Only Cynthia Ho,
because I think in her heart maybe Emily Lau supports us.
Or maybe.
But she has been joined the Democratic Party, so she can't speak.
She is also very critical of the budget, right?
On which point, perhaps we should talk more about the budget, I think.
Yes.
And in a bit more detail about what the budget was about and so on. Because obviously, was the budget bold enough? Was it aggressive enough?
No.
The fact that we're going into a severe recession.
Let me characterize it.
Was it bold enough, Dr. Chan?
Let me characterize it. This is a very shabby, half-baked, business as usual, so cowardice budget. It's cowardly because actually, and also it's obscurantist. It is completely obscure to what is happening worldwide, right? Because it's about life and death issue, and every government is trying to put in loads of money in order to jumpstart the economy or keep it humming. But this government is trying to say that, I don't spend anything so that I can save the money for the future, because the future is coming to be even more awful. But actually, you are dying now. This is what the Americans is saying, right? The British is saying, everyone is saying, and then this government is doing nothing as it is 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
And I think one more thing is that because like Greenspan and also Obama changed their ideology on the budget, but why this time the government don't change?
Yeah, but they're still sticking to those called extreme
liberal. They follow the Americans
liberal market
all the
economy.
time. Yeah, but this time they don't change.
They don't follow the Americans now.
That means they're bastard.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody agrees that this budget is shabby and rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you